Speaking of football, I'm gonna read a little thread here. It's like a
Okay.
4 or 5 tweet thread about Pat McAfee
Okay.
and
About him or by him?
or no, about him, and
Okay.
because Super Bowl and whatnot, and they were talking about the Pro Bowl and stuff, and somebody or Rob from my friend group sent this thread about his story, and it's actually really great. Do you guys know about like how he got into the NFL and
Who?
like how Pat McAfee?
I don't know how. I don't know if I remember how he got in the NFL.
It was a roundabout way, though, wasn't it?
So here it is. Pat McAfee is a former All-Pro NFL punter who retired at 29, leaving $6 million on the table to create content online. The part you didn't know? It all started with a $100 bet. This is his wild story.
I think I did know this.
Let's start in 2004. Pat McAfee show, a senior in high school, received an invitation to a kicking competition in Miami where 100 college scouts would be in attendance. The only problem, he couldn't afford the $1,500 in travel costs. With a verbal commitment to Kent State already in place, Pat McAfee's parents told him to forget about the camp in Miami. Spoiler alert, he didn't. What happened next is straight out of a movie. With no cash to pay for his trip to Miami, Pat McAfee quite literally bet on himself. McAfee borrowed $100 from a friend and entered a poker tournament against grown men in the basement of an Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh. The best part, he won, taking home $1,400. After winning the cash necessary to attend the camp in Miami, Pat McAfee impressed coaches with his leg. McAfee made 9 consecutive field goals, starting at 25 yards and moving 5 yards out each time until he received 65,
Damn.
or reached 65. The next morning, I got an offer from West Virginia, he said. From 2005 to 2008, Pat McAfee did everything at West Virginia, handling kickoffs, field goals, and punting. Made 58 field goals. He made 74% of attempts, third most field goals in WVU history. Next up, the NFL Draft, where the Indianapolis Colts selected him with the 222nd pick. During his 8-year career with the Colts, Pat McAfee became one of the best punters in the NFL. 2-time Pro Bowl, first-team All-Pro, punter of the decade. The interesting part? In 2017, at the age of 29, McAfee retired with $6 million left on his contract for a job at Barstool Sports. While the move is applauded today, people seem to forget how unpopular McAfee's decision was. Here's a tweet from 2017. McAfee with the biggest L of 2017. Leaving the NFL getting paid $2.5 million a year to punt to be a writer at Barstool Sports, I repeat, L. While Twitter trolls and media members couldn't believe his decision, Pat McAfee was confident. When he retired, McAfee had 700K followers, sold t-shirts online, completed a comedy tour, and hosted a radio show. Simply put, he used the NFL as a platform to build personal brand. Pat McAfee now hosts a daily show on YouTube that is watched by 50K plus people currently. The best part? FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up, becoming the show's exclusive sports betting partner. Even better, McAfee's media company is now worth more than his NFL contract. In the end, I love this story for one simple reason. Between gambling $100 for a flight to Miami and walking away from a $6 million contract, Pat McAfee has consistently challenged conventional wisdom. He bet on himself, dismissed the haters, and had fun doing it. Now that's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, he'll make way more money in the long run with a media company than he will
Yeah.
kicking for the Colts. Although he was on, I think, The Fighter and the Kid. They did a swap cast with him when they were indie doing their comedy stuff a couple years ago. And Brendan Schaub, the co-host of The Fighter and the Kid, had said this before because he was on the practice team, I think, of the Bills or somebody. And he said there are lots of guys out there playing the NFL that absolutely hate it.
Oh, I'm sure.
They just do it for the money. He goes, they're doing it, on
To just get, yeah.
He goes, but they hate it. And I think McAfee was one of those people who said that. He goes, I hated every minute in the NFL. I didn't like it. I think.
I don't know, but he had a personality when he was with the Colts. It was,
Yeah.
He was known for his
Was a comedian.
personality.
I mean, he goes out. I mean, he legit went out and did comedy.
Yeah.
So he used to go to Morty's.
He was such a fun guy to watch. You guys remember that punt or not the punt, the tackle that he
Tackle.
had? Yeah, that is like literally like one of the best moments in NFL history.
Yes.
Oh, so good. I'll actually pull it up right now. Hold on.
I don't remember that.
Oh my gosh.
He's not a small guy though. He's a big dude.
No, it was talked about for like a few weeks.
Because he was sitting next to Brendan Schaub on the podcast, and I think Schaub's like 250, 6'4". I mean, not a small guy, and he was, close. He was up there.
Right.
Most punters, you just, they're not whatever.
Speaking of punters, I felt so bad for the Chiefs punter last night. He was just shanking every single ball.
everything.
Like he kicked a punt and it was on the 40-yard
Yes.
line, like
Yeah.
on their 40-yard line. It was
Yes.
just so bad.
Yeah, he played horrible last night.
So McAfee just kicked it. Broncos are returning. Almost gets all the way down to the TD.
Dang. Laid him out.
Yeah, he just got absolutely destroyed. He comes over.
Do you remember the kickers used to have just one bar for their helmet?
Oh yeah.
And there
Oh
was
yeah.
I was like a kid.
Boom.
Boom. Just,
Oh man, that was head to head too.
that might get called for targeting now. But anyway, he got nailed. He did something and got nailed, and he was rolling on the ground, hurt. This kicker was, and the bar he'd gotten hit. That the bar was bent.
Bent.
Like under his chin.
Oh gosh, that's too funny.